now to hit the ground running, Eva, I want to start with you. From your own angle and idea, what do you understand by the word cultism, or who is a cultist?
Well, thank you, viewers. To my own understanding, I would say that cultism is a group of secret organization champion a particular goal. It can be in a violent way, it can be in a cultural way, it can be in a religious way, it can be in any way. But what they attempt to achieve, or what they aim to achieve, is to have a particular goal achieved, a particular projection, and having oneness of goal.
Okay.
So when you bring it now to who is a cultist is somebody who's practicing cultism, who is bound by the rules of that organization, not to, air or pass out any information of that group. Okay. It's like an oath that you take.
Thank you very much. That means that from your angle, a cult group, they must, for people in the same cult, they must have the same ideology, They must have the same belief.
Exactly.
And there was a word I picked from you, secrets. That means they have a lot of secrecy and something hideous about them. Okay, we'll get to that. Onyi, now tell us, how do you know a cultist? What are the things you say? I say, this girl or these boys must belong to a cult group.
Well, personally, I believe that a cultist, like you said, is one who belongs to a secret society. It's either in the university or the secondary school. Well, I feel like if I'm to see someone and for me to think and say, oh, this person is a cultist, it's either because of the way he dresses, maybe a tattoo, a handshake he and his member give, and maybe also night outings, because I believe cultists, it's secret, so most of them operate at night. I believe that's when they have their meetings, their get-togethers, and so on. They are dressing, basically.
Wow. Do you think it's fair, from what you said now, once anybody goes out in the night, or there is a particular handshake, you tell the person a cultist?
No, not that. For example, while in school, I heard people, you're not allowed to wear yellow and black. It means you belong to a certain group. So for dress codes like that, imagine someone wearing a yellow and black outfit and is with someone that is also wearing a yellow and black outfit, and they give a certain handshake and they are going off in the night.
All right, thank you, my dear. You've done well. Let's go, because most times I think it's the guys that really do this stuff. So Eva will be in a better position to tell us. Eva, how do we know a cultist?
Well, starting from, most times you can't identify a cultist by his or her appearance.
Good.
But when you interact with them, character-wise, they are very blunt. They are very rugged. They dare you. They don't give room for second option. That thing they say is what they want, and they want to achieve that. That's why I said it's a group of oneness, a group of people championing one goal. If they say, okay, we are going to attack so person who is a threat to our group, every one of them is united for that one common purpose.
All right.
So if you see the person going out, he's very bold.
Yes.
He confronts everybody. He doesn't care whether you are big or small, whatever office you hold. He believes that his group is big enough and strong enough to stand by him and to help him conquer whatever he
All right,
said.
thank you very much. You're talking about boldness, and from what you're saying, it's as if boldness is not good. But I bet you we all pray for that kind of boldness.
Everybody should be bold, but to an extent.
Okay.
When he crosses
so
the
their
line,
own is overboard.
When he crosses the line, if a cult is just see you and say, oh, but get out of my way.
Okay.
Just like that. And if you fail to, he just plot against you.
All right. Okay, I get it now. So it's not all about the boldness.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Eva. Oyinye, at what age do you think the youths get pressured into belonging to certain cult groups?
Well, normally I would have said it's mostly in the university. But these days, you find out that a lot of secondary school boys, especially SS2, SS3, belong to certain cults. So I'd say it begins at the age of 16, 17, 18.
That's definitely
Yes.
from the secondary school
Yes,
level.
from secondary school level.
In addition to that,
All right.
there was one case I followed up just recently, a case of court group in primary school.
Are you for real?
Yes. So it was a shock for
Is
me
it
to
verifiable?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Go right there.
Okay.
It's no longer a hidden story. It's everywhere. That
Primary school.
even those in primary school are also indulged into cultism. So our society these days, you can't just say it's between the range of so to so.
So it has gone
Even
down to
to-
the primary
very,
school
very well. You
level.
see, even parents teaching their children, this is what I do. This is what you must do when you grow up.
Wow.
Do you understand that kind of thing? And if you also bring it down to our culture, some parts of our culture practice also cultism.
Can you elaborate?
I'm coming
on
to that.
Okay.
As a young man, when I was growing up, we were initiated into masquerade,
Okay.
cult. It is cult. Why some people these days say, no, my son cannot be initiated into this. But it's a cult. That's why women cannot get involved into it.
Okay, maybe that kind of call, there is not lot. We don't have a lot of negativity.
There is. If you know, I wouldn't want to
You
delve into
delve
that
into
because
it, okay.
it's a man thing.
It's traditional.
Yes, it's traditional. But then there are also the advantage and disadvantage aspect of it.
We'll
So
get
when you
to
bring
that.
all this together, you can't just say a particular age is eligible or is willing to join a particular cult. These days it's no. But the olden days when we were growing up, we believed that once you get into the
Yes,
four walls of
okay.
university, your eyes are open, you can now join.
Whatever,
Yes.
you become more aware.
But these days, what is happening in our society proves everybody wrong.
Wrong. Wow. I know about secondary school, but to talk about primary school, I will look into that off air.
As a journalist,
All right.
that was
All right.
the
Thank you very
that's
much,
what-
Eva. Punyi, can you tell us some of the factors that you feel that pressure people into belonging to certain groups, cult groups?
I'd say poverty, because if you check it, it's mostly in like public universities that you find cultism quite rampant. And if you want to, like, if you go ahead to, that's personally, if you go ahead to find out who are these people, you find that most of them came out from poor homes. They want to belong. You know, some of them want to, you know, they crave power, authority, because there are schools that the certain cults can be called like this and everybody's afraid, don't follow them, don't talk to them, or they will deal with you. So everyone is afraid. So I feel it's the, you know, they crave for power, they crave for authority, poverty, and there's also, like I said,
Don't you think
peer
peer pressure is
peer
part-
pressure, peer pressure too. But I feel like these days peer pressure really is not really, it doesn't hold water
factor.
again. Yes, because now everybody does as they like. No one is looking at this my neighbor is doing, I want to do. Now they come out boldly. It's what I want to do. It's none of your business. I want to do it. So I will not feel, yes, peer pressure is part of it, but not
that rampant.
it's not a huge
The driving
factor.
force.
Yes.
Okay. Eva, can you tell us some of the factors that you know that drive these youths into wanting to belong to a particular cult at a certain age?
So that's a point I think I would disagree with that when you say poverty. If you look at it, you see that most capons, if I may use the word, even their patrons or whatever they are being called, are from rich homes. I don't want to call names, but we in the country, we know who was alleged to have been the patron of cult group.
Group.
You understand? So it's not a poor man that, and when you look at these cultists, you know they have connections.
Yes, they do.
They are very connected to these rich and influential people. So a poor man cannot have such connection. It's still the same rich people that also plant these cult groups into different strata of our societies, especially during elections and voting cycle.
Okay, so is that their job? Are the cultists used for the dirty jobs in the society?
Most times, They are being used
So
because,
if they are used for the dirty jobs, why will a sane person want to join them?
of course, there is money in it. I must not lie to you. I'm not a
Okay.
courtist, but there's money in it. There's this quest for power. I want to be in charge.
Yeah.
At times, I must tell you, I must confess to you, there was a time in university I was so much
Pressured.
maltreated by a particular lecturer. I was tempted. I asked myself, why don't I join a court group? At least
Fight back.
to make sure that I dealt with this man. You see, for that sense of injustice, that sense of maltreatment, that sense of denying you your rights, and when you look around, there is no other ways of fighting for your rights. The next thing that comes to your mind is, which group will help me actualize this? So at times, it's not really people joining into it because they want to. Situation
Push them.
And you know, in psychology and in sociology states that our environment contributes to a large extent how we behave.
Yes.
So if you are in an environment where everything you do is seen as abomination, is seen as you are not wanted, it seems as you are a nobody, at a point you'll be like, wow, I think I should find my way out of this situation.
Sense of belonging.
And if you look at the conventional security agencies, maybe you don't have the power or the persons to get you connected to them. The cheapest group of people to join to help you, yes, are these street boys. And you see them everywhere. At times, these security men, they know them. You understand? So most times they are not hidden. It's just that they have not come for you.
So, from all you said now, it's obvious that we know who they are, and they do a lot in the society. So can you tell me what they do? Do you think there is any, tell me the effects now, that's the right word. Can you tell me the effects of belonging to cult groups? Both if there is negative, if there is positive, let us know here.
Yeah, they say that whatever that has advantage must have disadvantage. But then we are looking at if the disadvantage side of it outweighs the other side. That's when we condemn it. But I must not stand here to condemn outrightly cults, groups, but some of them are being established for some reasons best in the interest of the society. Some can just have a group, say, okay, we don't want anything criminal around our area. They do have their meeting, they do monitoring, it's just for their own interest. So, but when you look at the other ugly side of it, see that cultism has, influenced the mindset of most youth. They think violent. They think maneuvering. They think power by all means. Whatever they want is to be in charge. Most times, it takes away that their mindset the mindset of hard work. I want to work hard. No, they don't think so. They believe that with what I have, I can get this.
And please, can you tell us that thing that they have? That's their brotherhood.
That's their brotherhood.
People in their
If they, for example, if they want your phone, they've been hungering for iPhone 12, iPhone 20. They see you with iPhone 20. The shortest way to get this iPhone 20 is to gather their boys. They come to you, I need this phone.
Is that not robbery?
You can call it a robbery.
And to them, what do you think it's called?
Maybe I don't have a word to it.
Wow.
But what I'm saying in the essence is that this is how it goes.
Wow.
From give me your phone to if you don't give me, I will shoot. It graduates to, okay, I've had phone now, maybe I should also graduate to snatching cars. Okay, so that's how it is. When you also look at the other side of it, it can help the group to have agreements. And when you have agreements, you're able to achieve whatever goal you have. And it also helps you to manage each other. Because one thing I like about them, I must not lie to you, is that love.
Amongst them, the brotherhood.
Them. Yes. Once they agree that we are going to establish this thing, none of them backs out. They are going to go in with force. And you see the goal achieved.
Now we've been talking about cultism surrounding the school. Let's talk about post school, after school for the cultists. What happens? At least after school, you wouldn't be talking about snatching phones, bullying people. You're now out in the civil society. What happens? Is there any form of help from the big orgas or the bigger boys somehow? Do they place them in vital positions that make the thing keep the cult afloat?
To help put it to the right perspective, I would say I'll classify it as primary, secondary, and tertiary and post-tertiary cultism. All of them have the operation according to their limits. Once they leave school, they are now graduates. They are now exposed to the larger community. Yeah. Of course, they must have to enlarge their scope, have some entries. At times they reach out to these influential people in the society. Oga, we want to do a particular thing like this. We need your support. And that person they've gone to must be somebody that know them. So there's this mindset of, now that we are here, let's make way for ourselves. Okay. You can see them come to society and say, we are going to join a particular political party. Okay, you go for social post. We are going to do all we can to make sure we deliver it. That's why sometimes you see politicians, they will tell you, I can kill you and nothing will happen.
Because they have the backing of some
Because they believe that even without the conventional security personnel, something is singing a song behind them.
All right. From some things you said now, it's obvious they have some advantages and some positivity around cultism. So I don't know if it's right to say if it's a menace to the society. Do you think cultism is a menace to the society?
It's a menace if it's
with all these things you're saying, the backing they give politicians and how they are well placed in the society and how they help themselves.
We in the Africa, everything we bring, we adulterate it. Okay. To me, I think if we can explore the energy, the positivity in a secret cause and blend into our present day society, I think it will make a lot of changes. Okay. But the thing is, everything that we bring it here is for our own selfish purposes. All right. It's a menace because they use it to intimidate people's rights. Anything you do as a human being that infringes the rights of the next person is a menace. All right. So you can't tell me because I'm a cultist and
you have some certain people
backing you. You must, if you are doing your own in the confine of your rights,
without subduing and harassing other people.
So you are graduating to even a terrorist. Okay. Because you are terrorizing your environment, making someone close to you uncomfortable.
All right. Thank you very much, Evaneke, for your contribution. And knowing the same to you. It's still Generation Next. We are going on a break. And I tell you, we are going to be back in a jiffy. Make sure you don't change that channel. Welcome back. It's still Generation Next, and we are still discussing cultism amongst youths. And I'm still with Evaneke and Oyinye Toniru. Before we went on break, we've told you who a cultist is, the effect of cultism, what they do in the society. And now, Onyi, I want you to tell us, how do you think cultism can be curbed? Since we know it comes with a lot of negativity. What's the place of the government, the family, and the church in the fight against cultism and the cultists?
I'd say, first of all, charity begins at home. Okay. I believe that parents should listen to their children more, because if you want to find out more about this cultist, like you said initially, that love they receive from belonging to a group of people who go after the same interest. If they can receive such love from homes, like from a home, whereby your parents listen to both their emotional needs, their psychological needs. Because if you want to ask this, if you go on a one-to-one conversation with these people, you find out that most of them at home, they were not valued. They didn't find there was no sense of belonging for them, so they drove into cultism. I believe also the government should bring about rules, punishment for people that belong to a cult. If you do this, there's a punishment waiting for you. Then from the homes, like I said before, the parents should show love. In church, it should be taught. They should talk about it. I believe that in churches, it's not just going to be, oh, God, God, God. So imagine their teachers in church speaking to them, don't do this, so this will lead to that, or if you do this, so this will lead to that. And then at home, their parents are showing them love. If they deviate from this behavior, this line they've been cultured, or they've been groomed into, the parents will be able to detect, my child is deviating, something is wrong somewhere. Because these cults, I believe that they begin to show like behaviors, they detach from
red flags.
Yes, they detach from their people, that punishments should be made. I know of, like in my school, I heard from what we're told, if you belong to a cult, or if you're caught doing anything in this cult or all of that, expelled, sorry. So I feel like from the house to the church and to the government and to school.
All right, Oyi, thank you very much. You said the school should carve out a certain type of punishment for them.
Yes.
But it is the same you people that told us here that the cult are so bold that even the lecturers and teachers shiver. Okay. So how do you punish somebody that is bigger than you? Anyway, that's an aside. Ever tell us.
Okay, for me, I think what she just said, she made sort of vital points. We need to have a social reorientation. I don't know if we still have a national orientation agency working, if they are still effective or functional. If they do, perhaps they are working based on nomenclature. But this is their duty, carrying out sensitization. At times when we were in school, we used to see lots of drawings.
It's still there, especially
but
the public schools.
The emphasis on it these days, I don't see much. Okay. During those days, during morning assembly in the school, the first thing the principal comes to tell you is my own principal those days, cultism is evil. And when you continue to hear this kind of a thing, and they keep giving you pictures of how bad, how dangerous being a cultist can be, you begin to have a rethink. But these days, how many schools do you have guidance and counselor units? How many homes even sit down and discuss with their children? How many universities even have their student affairs units working effectively? We have a lot of policies governments have put in place, but how do they implement it? How do they follow it up? It's not just to make policies, rules up and down. How the ones we have, how are we following it up? So it still boils down to having a cultured mind. And for me, I also believe that individual difference should come in. Me, I grew up in if I should say, a ghetto. But I have chosen a life I will live for myself.
Thank you very much, guys. We've established it here that there is nothing good about cultism. That, in fact, cultism and the cultist is a menace to the society and should be wiped off entirely. Thank you very much, Eva Neke Onyi. Thank you for your contribution. Okay, it's been agreed here that there is nothing good about cultism and the cultist. In fact, that cultism should be wiped off from our generation. And from all of us here, we say no to cultism. My name is Amulio Onyeka. On behalf of Eva Neke and Onye Toniru and everybody that has been working behind cameras to make sure that you see us, I say thank you very much. And remember that next week is going to be a date. Make sure you stay tuned. Bye-bye.
We are off to the health center.